On our anniversary, my girlfriend suddenly told me she wanted to have a baby for her severely ill first love. We got into a massive fight over this. The doctor said, Ahui's health is deteriorating. If we don't have a child now, it'll be too late. Besides, we're only doing IVF. I promised you I wouldn't sleep with him. I'm just helping him out.
What exactly is your problem?
I clutched the engagement ring tightly in my hand, my heart aching to the point of numbness. I couldn't understand my girlfriend at all. How could she be so nonchalant while saying something so absurd? Ningbing, we've been together for 7 years. We're about to get married. Have you never once thought about my feelings? If you do this, how am I supposed to face anyone? I swallowed the humiliation, trying to hold on to my last shred of dignity, but my knuckles, white from gripping so hard, betrayed the agony in my heart. Yet Bai Ningbing stood up in a huff, pointing right at my face and yelling, "You only care about your fragile male ego? You've never once thought about me." Bai Ningbing flipped the dining table, sending the cold steaks flying across the floor. Suddenly, the phone on the table rang. I looked down, and the screen clearly showed the caller ID, Hubby. Bai Ningbing obviously saw it too. She panicked, snatched the phone, and immediately muted it. I looked at her, hoping Bai Ningbing could give me an explanation, even if it was just a lie. But Bai Ningbing hurriedly slammed the door and left. "I'm not coming home tonight. Don't wait up." Bai Ningbing left without a single explanation. This made me think back. From our college days to entering the real world, the thing Bai Ningbing left me with the most was this heartless view of her back. In college, Bai Ningbing was the campus belle. Ian Ice Queen no one dared to approach. She never even spared me a glance. But by some stroke of luck, a stunning beauty like Bai Ningbing actually confessed to me. We somehow ended up together in a blur. I knew it was a bit unexpected, but I studied hard and pushed myself to the limit to improve, just to be worthy of Bai Ningbing. I loved her humbly, loved her cautiously. I took meticulous care of Bai Ningbing, just to earn her rare sweet words. Over the years, I thought Bai Ningbing was finally moved, but I never expected her to remain so cold. I looked at the table full of delicious food, feeling nothing but a heavy heart. I went out to the balcony and lit a cigarette, only to unexpectedly find that Bai Ningbing hadn't left yet. She was pacing back and forth at the villa gate, seemingly waiting for a ride. "Oui, you have to stay strong. I'm heading to the hospital to see you right now. What does it matter if Shu Yan agrees or not? It's my body. I make the decisions." Who the hell does he think he is? A private car pulled up to the gate, and Bai Ningbing hurriedly got in. I could clearly see the rush and anxiety on her face. Who the hell did I think I was? Years of humiliation and suppressed feelings surged in my chest. Looking at my haggard and lost self in the mirror, my career had skyrocketed over the years, but my love life felt like wandering in a dense fog, never finding a way out. All I wanted was a normal marriage, a lover who actually cared about me. But Bai Ningbing clearly couldn't care less. Her mind was entirely occupied by her precious Ahui, to the point of wanting to have his child. I let out a bitter chuckle. If Bai Ningbing dared to do something so absurd, why couldn't I? I took out my phone and dug up a long-forgotten email address from my notes. I typed out a message. "Does what you said back then still count? At 28, if I'm unmarried and you're single, I'll marry you. Dare to come back to the country." I hit send in one breath. I froze for a moment, then laughed at myself. I hadn't contacted that girl in 10 years. What the hell was I doing? Asking someone to marry me right off the bat. Shez probably forgotten what I even look like. But the very next second, my phone lit up. It was an email reply. With just one word, "I dare." The moment I saw that email, my throat tightened, and a familiar feeling washed over me. Lin Miomio was still the same bold and decisive. We were childhood sweethearts, bickering from the time we were kids, always arguing until we were red in the face. In our youth, we had our first stirrings of love. But after a massive fight, Lin Miaomiao's entire family emigrated. I just never expected that Lin Miaomiao would still remember this promise. Then an international call interrupted my thoughts. "Yan, I'm coming back in a month. Let's meet at the Civil Affairs Bureau." "Don't you dare go back on your word?" For a moment, I had the illusion that Lin Miaomiao had been waiting for this moment for a very long time.
"What do you want? A diamond ring? A car?"
A bride price and an engagement party. I rattled off a bunch of things in one breath. Bai Ningbing and I had been together for 7 years, and I always thought wed reached this stage. So I had prepared quite a lot. It's just that Bai Ningbing was too arrogant. Every time I brought it up, she'd say wed, talk about it later, making all my preparations useless. But what I didn't expect was Lin Miaomiao flatly refusing on the other end of the line. "I don't need any of that. But you know me. I've been stubborn since I was a kid. I want you body and soul to be entirely mine. Not just going through the motions. Can you do that?" I know my little tyrant.
Wait, what did you just call me?
Just getting some practice in early wifey. Since we were getting married, I never intended to do it half-heartedly. I wanted to give her everything she deserved. Looking at the WeChat friend request popping up, Lin Miao's note read, "Your wifey is here." A smile tugged at the corners of my mouth. "Bai Ningbing, you go have a baby for someone else. and I'll go marry someone else. That's perfectly fair, isn't it? It had been a week, and Bai Ningbing still hadn't come home. Not only did she not call me once, she didn't even come back at night. Normally, I would have been worried sick by now, probably rushing to the hospital to make a scene with her. But now, I didn't ask. I just quietly packed all my bags and posted a simple status on my social media. If it works, stay. If it doesn't, part ways. A few friends who knew I was planning to propose immediately came asking, "Didn't you already buy the ring? Why post this all of a sudden? Are you not getting married anymore?" I laughed self-deprecatingly, feeling nothing but a heavy heart. I designed that ring myself and spent half a year at auctions to get 10 flawless pink diamonds surrounding a 5-carat center diamond, symbolizing my wholehearted devotion. But while I was pouring my heart out, what was Bai Ningbing doing?
Worrying about another man.
If this woman's heart could never be warmed, I didn't want to love her anymore. During dinner with my friends, I stated it plainly, I'm still getting married. But the bride isn't Bai Ningbing. The table fell silent for a moment, before quickly being drowned out by my friends' laughter. You'd give your life for Bai Ningbing, and you're saying you just stopped loving her.
Yeah, right.
Over the years, how many times have you gone out drinking to drown your sorrows, only to bounce right back the second she says a single word? I didn't argue. I knew the truth better than any words could express. My friends would realize sooner or later that I was serious this time. When I got home, the lights were on. Turns out, Bai Ningbing was back. She had dark circles under her eyes, and her bare face looked incredibly haggard. Bai Ningbing was someone who cared deeply about her appearance, always dressing up impeccably every time she went out. It was rare to see her looking so miserable. I walked closer and smelled the strong scent of disinfectant. It was obvious she had been working tirelessly at the hospital taking care of him. After seeing me, Bai Ningbing offered no explanation, but instead boldly interrogated me, "Where have you been? You didn't even answer your phone. Got a lot of nerve now, huh?" Here we go again. Every time Bai Ningbing felt guilty, she would find some issue to pin on me, shifting all the blame onto me, waiting for me to scramble to explain and apologize. But this time, I just looked at her calmly. Bai Ningbing's heart sank. She seemed to sense that the man in front of her had changed, but she couldn't quite put her finger on how. But right now, she didn't have time to dwell on it. She had more important things to deal with. So, she frowned and said, "Ahui just had surgery a few days ago, and He's very weak. I've decided to help him move to a VIP ward." "Okay," I replied curtly. Bai Ningbing was stunned. She didn't expect it to go so smoothly. She thought she'd have to deal with me like before, spending time coaxing me. "A VIP ward costs 30,000 yuan a day. Are you okay with that?" "Sure." I didn't even look up, agreeing instantly, because in my mind, we weren't married. So I had no right to interfere with how Bai Ningbing spent her own money. Bai Ningbing worked as a receptionist at a small company, making 4,000 or 5,000 yuan a month. But since I covered all our daily expenses, she had managed to save up a bit. Though I didn't know how many days of a VIP ward she could actually afford. That strange feeling welled up in Bai Ningbing's heart again. But right now, she was in such a rush to help Lin Jiahui switch rooms, that she really didn't have the mental capacity to overthink it. Another week passed, and I went to the hospital as agreed. Bai Ningbing walked straight to the ward with practiced familiarity. Lin Jiahui, who had been watching TV in bed, saw Bai Ningbing and immediately contorted his face in pain, groaning, "Ningbing, I feel so awful." Bai Ningbing rushed over. "Didn't I tell you to lie down and rest? Why are you sitting up? I woke up early and didn't see you. I was so worried I couldn't rest. I couldn't eat a thing." Bai Ningbing sighed, helplessly but gently taking out a lunchbox, feeding him spoonful by spoonful.
What would you do without me?
"If I didn't get you a VIP room, how could I have peace of mind?" They leaned close to each other, chatting as if no one else was around, like a pair of newlyweds. And I stood at the door, just watching quietly, without saying a word, until the chief doctor brought his team over and nudged me. "If you're not involved, don't block the doorway." Only then did Bai Ningbing look up. Realizing her boyfriend was standing at the door, she immediately stood up in embarrassment. But I didn't say anything, and even politely stepped aside. My lack of arguing or making a scene left Bai Ningbing a bit surprised, but her sleeve was tugged, and a pitiful Lin Jiahui clung to her, complaining of stomach pain. Bai Ningbing immediately stopped thinking about it. Maybe I had finally learned to be sensible. That was for the best. Lin Jiahui seemed to finally notice me, and he gave me an appreciative nod. "CEO Shu, thank you for not only taking care of Ningbing for me all these years, but also for helping me book this VIP ward. I truly appreciate it." Lin Jiahui's words were dripping with sarcasm. He knew full well that Bai Ningbing was my girlfriend. Yet he claimed I was taking care of her for him. But I just listened quietly, saying nothing. "You know, Ningbing and I had a very special relationship in college. She's a loyal and affectionate girl, which is why she's helping me like this. I hope you can understand." Of course I understood. I was about to marry someone else, so whatever Bai Ningbing did was none of my business. Seeing that I seemed easy to talk to, Lin Jiahui couldn't help but raise an eyebrow and boldly started showing off. I just had surgery a few days ago, and it's hard for me to get around. Thank goodness Ningbing has been busy taking care of me. Not only does she sponge bathe me, but she also makes soup for me. Every day she sees me unwell, she bursts into tears. CEO Shu, your girlfriend is truly virtuous. Hearing Lin Jiahui's provocation, I still couldn't help but clench my fists. If he dared to act like this in front of people, who knows what they did in private? I felt like I was being heavily cuckolded. Bai Ningbing's face turned pale, and she hurriedly explained, Hui is just joking. Don't take it seriously. Hez just like that. Always likes to tease people. My heart is obviously with you. Bai Ningbing said this while turning her head away, her hands busy doing who knows what. Having been together for 7 years, I only needed one glance to know she was lying, because whenever she lied, she would find something to busy her hands with. Don't just stand there. Let's go pay for the VIP room. Sure enough, after all that talking, Bai Ningbing just saw me as a rich fool, only good for footing the bill. If she truly cared about me, how could she let me be degraded like this? But I didn't care, because as far as Bai Ningbing was concerned, the moment she said she wanted to have Lin Jiahui's baby, we were already over. Bai Ningbing smiled at me and swiped the card without hesitation, even though she didn't know it was her own salary card. Next came the room transfer, and Bai Ningbing stayed by Lin Jiahui's side the entire time, until he was settled in bed. The medical staff brought in the VIP ward meal, and Lin Jiahui took a few bites before setting it down. He first shot me a provocative look, then said to Bai Ningbing in a choked voice, Ningbing, I remember when we first got together. You personally went into the kitchen to stew beef bone soup for me. I don't know if I'll ever have the chance to eat it again in this lifetime. As soon as he finished speaking, Bai Ningbing frowned, grabbed his hand and said, hey.
What nonsense are you talking about?
As long as you want it, I'll go home and make it for you right now. Not only will you get to eat it, our future child will get to eat it too. Your Lin family line is probably going to end with you, and your mom is still waiting to hold a grandchild. It's all because I'm useless. Saying that, he clutched his head in agony. Bai Ningbing hugged him, gently comforting him. Seeing me still standing in the room, Bai Ningbing coldly ordered, What are you standing there for? Hurry up and go to the supermarket to buy some beef. I'll go home and make the soup later. I let out a scoff. Use me and then toss me aside. That had always been Bai Ningbing's style. I nodded, went down to the underground parking lot and started the car. I thought for a moment and decided not to go home or to the supermarket, but drove straight to the company instead. As soon as I arrived, I went to see Mo Sinian. I hadn't brought an umbrella, so I got caught in the rain a bit and was completely soaked. My head felt dizzy. Mo Sinian was a bit surprised, because I had told him recently that I was preparing to propose, so I wouldn't be coming into the office as often. I took a sip of hot water, and my next words startled Mo Sinian. I want to resign. Resign? You're doing so well as the CEO.
Where are you planning to run off to?
That Miss Bai of yours demanded a villa. He is premarital property, and asked for a bride price of 9.99 million. If you resign now, can you still afford to keep her? But honestly, if you were marrying someone else, you could just retire right now. I don't want to leave completely. I just want to step back behind the scenes. Some people just aren't worth me working myself to death for. After handing over all my work, I went home. Bai Ningbing was holding grocery bags, looking furious.
I told you to go buy groceries.
Where the hell did you go? Walking around with a long face all day? Being so petty, are you even a man? I ignored her and went straight to grab my packed suitcase. Are you going on a business trip? Let me help you pack. Bai Ningbing was stunned. No, the company is restructuring. I'm going to stay at the office for a few days. My voice was calm. I lied through my teeth. Bai Ningbing knew my job was demanding, and that business trips and pulling all-nighters at the office were normal. In the past, she would have been annoyed, but for some reason, today she felt something was off. How many days will you be gone? Do you need me to help you pack your clothes? Faced with Bai Ningbing's sudden gentleness, not only was I not moved, I actually felt a bit awkward. But before I could find an excuse, Bai Ningbing received a phone call. She listened for a moment, frowned and put it on speaker. CEO Shu, it's me, Lin Jiahui. Today at the hospital, my health was really poor, and I said some things that might have offended you. I hope you won't take it to heart. It's just that the doctor just told me my vitals have dropped again. I know the whole thing about having a baby with Ningbing is a bit absurd, but we're only doing IVF. We absolutely won't do anything else. I'm begging you. His voice was choked with emotion, but clearly when I was at the hospital earlier, why didn't Lin Jiahui say this to my face? Wasn't it just to make Bai Ningbing pity him? So Shed hurried back to the hospital. If I hadn't seen Lin Jiahui's provocative face earlier, I really would have pitied him. But right now, I was too lazy to play along with their act. I just gave a cold, and turned back to my room to continue packing. By the time I finished packing and walked out, I found Bai Ningbing hadn't moved, but her face had darkened. She was glaring at me with resentful eyes. Your wifey is calling. Bai Ningbing glared at me angrily, seemingly waiting for me to explain. This was the first time I had seen Bai Ningbing lose her cool like this, looking so flustered. Honestly, reaching my current position before turning 30, becoming a CEO, made me a hot commodity anywhere. Quite a few people pursued me. There were even some infatuated girls who chased me all the way to my doorstep to confess, clinging to me and refusing to let go. Back then, I wanted to explain, but deep down, I had a bit of anticipation. I wanted to know if Bai Ningbing would get jealous, if she would get angry. But Bai Ningbing only said one thing: "Don't block the doorway. You're making too much noise and ruining my sleep." Then she emotionlessly closed the door, went to work as usual, and didn't bother to ask a single question. Those days of one-sided giving I had endured for 7 years. And now, seeing the jealousy on her face, seeing these other emotions, my heart didn't feel a single ripple. I calmly picked up my phone. And just as I was about to explain, Bai Ningbing's phone suddenly lit up. She glanced at the screen and immediately stood up in a panic. "I'll settle this with you later. I'm heading to the hospital first." This same old trick again. I had seen it countless times. This time I didn't stop her, because I had something more important. Lin Miao Miao had returned to the country early, and I had to rush to the airport to pick her up. When I arrived at the airport with flowers, I thought Lin Miao Miao had some emergency, but she just blushed and asked about trivial things. "Have you eaten dinner yet? Why do I feel like you've gotten a lot thinner? Is it because work has been too busy lately? Ah, it's so cold."
Why are you wearing so little?
Didn't you bring a jacket?
I walked with her, patiently answering every question. After a while, Lin Miao Miao finally stammered out. "Yan, is it true that you want to marry me? I know you have a girlfriend of 7 years.
And you love her very much, right?
I was stunned, but it was normal for Lin Miao Miao to think that. For those 7 years, every aspect of my life was filled with traces of Bai Ningbing. My profile picture was a couple photo with Bai Ningbing, and I even kept photos of Bai Ningbing in my office. I stayed silent for a long time, which made Lin Miao Miao a bit anxious. She clenched her hands tightly, burning with anxiety. She was truly terrified that I would say I was just messing with her. I took Lin Miao Miao's hand, looked into her eyes, and said sincerely, "Bai Ningbing is in the past. I've let her go now. Don't worry. I meant it when I said I want to marry you, and I absolutely won't change my mind because of her." The warmth from my large hands spread to hers, making Lin Miao Miao feel an indescribable sense of relief. We hadn't seen each other in so long. Not only did we have a lot to talk about, but Lin Miao Miao was also much gentler and more ladylike than before. She was so beautiful that I almost didn't dare to look at her. If Bai Ningbing was an ice queen, then Lin Miao Miao was a sweet, radiant beauty like the sunshine. Being around her not only came with zero pressure, but it also felt incredibly comfortable. We chatted late into the night.
So, we're set for a week from now.
In a week, well, go register our marriage. Deal. After dropping Lin Miao Miao off at her hotel, I finally went home. What I didn't expect was Bai Ningbing sitting on the couch, staring right at me. I know that contact name was just a prank. You just wanted to get my attention. Xu Yan doing that is really childish. I was a bit surprised. This concerned look on Bai Ningbing's face was clearly a sign of possessiveness. But after loving her for 7 years, now that my heart had already grown cold, Bai Ningbing finally showing a little bit of care was just too late. Bai Ningbing, seemingly satisfied with her own conclusion, stood up. "All right, I have to go to the hospital now. Awui said he wants to treat us to dinner the day after tomorrow. See how generous he is.
You have to come.
Don't be disrespectful."
Generous. I almost laughed out loud.
But before I could even open my mouth to refuse, Bai Ningbing grabbed the soup thermos and hurried out, not giving me a chance to speak. Sure enough, over the next few days, Bai Ningbing kept pestering me non-stop. Awui already booked the seafood restaurant.
What's with that look on your face?
Being so petty at a time like this. Are you even a man? If you don't show up the day after tomorrow, then don't bother being my boyfriend anymore. To get me to attend the dinner, Bai Ningbing even resorted to goading me. We had been together for 7 years, yet Bai Ningbing didn't even know I was allergic to seafood. Once, I accidentally ate some shrimp and had to be rushed to the ER. What was Bai Ningbing doing then? When she heard the news, she just casually said, "You're a grown man, and you can't even take care of yourself." How useless. In Bai Ningbing's eyes, the one she loved could be cared for at the hospital day in and day out, while the one she didn't love wasn't even worth mentioning, and wouldn't receive an ounce of her care. And for those 7 years, I was the one she didn't care about. "Hey, are you even listening to me?" Bai Ningbing snapped angrily on the other end of the line. She seemed furious that I didn't answer immediately. She knew I hadn't been acting like myself lately, and it made her feel a bit panicked. So she softened her tone. "Yan, once everything at the hospital is sorted out, think about your proposal." Okay, my heart couldn't help but ache bitterly.
Why? Right. When I had finally made up my mind.
Did Bai Ningbing have to come and torment me like this? But suddenly, Lin Jiahui's voice came through the phone, sounding like he was in pain. "Baby, I'm having trouble breathing. I feel so awful. This was followed by Bei Ningbing's startled cry, as if Lin Jiahui had collapsed onto her.
Ahoy.
Awoo. Ahui? Are you okay? Quick, hold on to me. It'll make you feel a bit better. You're always like this, never giving me a moment's peace. The second I take my eyes off you,
You make me worry again.
Bai Ningbing's voice was as gentle as water, like she was coaxing a naughty child, completely forgetting that I was still on the other end of the line. As for me hearing her doting tone, I just hung up the phone. You two can eat by yourselves, and take my love with you. I wasn't going, and I never planned to, because the day after tomorrow was the day of my engagement party with Lin Miao Miao. Inside the banquet hall, the atmosphere was joyous and lively. Lin Miao Miao wore a deep red xiangzim, looking both elegant and alluring, leaving me mesmerized for a moment.
Wow. Shu Yan, when you said you were getting engaged?
We thought you were just acting out of jealousy. We thought you'd just find a rebound for Bai Ningbing. But this new bride of yours, I gotta say, Shay's even prettier.
You're a lucky guy.
Seeing this, Lin Miao Miao was about to step away, seemingly wanting to give me and my friend some space, but I wrapped my arm around her shoulder. Teasing cheers erupted around us. You haven't even registered the marriage yet, and you're already this lovey-dovey. But hey, Shu Yan, did you really break up with Bai Ningbing? Does she know you're marrying someone else? Just as the words fell, the main doors were suddenly pushed open. Bai Ningbing walked in. No what? Everyone was stunned. Beside me was my new love, and in front of me was my ex. Lin Miao Miao reacted immediately, slipping out of my embrace, but I firmly grabbed her hand again.
What are you doing here?
Last time you tricked me by making a fake contact name, and this time you invited your friends to put on a play, staging a fake wedding, right?
Yu Yan to trick me.
You really went through a lot of trouble. Looking at Bai Ningbing's unwavering gaze, she didn't have a single doubt. Because I loved her so much, I would have sacrificed my life for her. 3 years ago, Bai Ningbing was in a car accident. At the time, I was on a business trip abroad, and upon hearing the news, I immediately canceled my work and rushed back to the country. When the doctor said she urgently needed a kidney donor, I didn't even think twice before volunteering and signing the consent form to donate. She was in the hospital for a month, and I put all my important work on hold, staying by her side for that entire month. When she opened her eyes, the first person she saw was me, looking worried sick. At that moment, Bai Ningbing thought that perhaps in this lifetime, there would be no one else like me, loving her without a single complaint. In that moment, she was very happy. So, even though I was currently wearing a groom's suit, with a beautiful girl by my side, she still didn't suspect a thing, thinking I was just trying to trick her.
Yeah.
Bai Ningbing, you and Shu Yan have such a stable relationship. How could he possibly love someone else? Wasn't he just preparing to propose to you a month ago? I just wanted to get rid of her quickly. So, I didn't argue.
What are you doing here?
Bai Ningbing thought I would try to provoke her, that I would threaten her, to force her to stay with me. But seeing my cold expression now, it truly caught her off guard. But before Bai Ningbing could say anything, her phone rang. Bai Ningbing answered the phone without hesitation, then frowned, as if something major had happened. Yan, you have to come to the hospital with me right now. Bai Ningbing looked dead serious. Seeing this, Lin Miao Miao generously patted my shoulder, telling me to go with Bai Ningbing. Honestly, I wanted to refuse, but Bai Ningbing didn't give me any room to say no. She shoved me into the car and slammed on the gas to start driving. By now, Bai Ningbing's eyes were brimming with tears. I could clearly feel the heavy atmosphere. Crying, Bai Ningbing ran through 7 or 8 red lights. When we got to the hospital, she dragged me running up the stairs. As soon as we arrived panting at the VIP ward, Bai Ningbing yelled out, Doctor, hurry over here, use my boyfriend's kidney. My boyfriend's kidney is a perfect match for a Hui. My boyfriend agreed to donate his kidney. Doctor, no matter how much it costs, I'm willing to pay. Just take my boyfriend's kidney for a Hui. Only now did I understand the real reason Bai Ningbing came looking for me today. It was only because Lin Jiahui was in critical condition and needed my kidney. No wonder 2 months ago, Bai Ningbing insisted I get a comprehensive health checkup, even including a kidney match test. I was confused at first, but back then Bai Ningbing stammered and told me that it was in preparation for our marriage. Now it seemed Bai Ningbing wanted to use my healthy body to save her precious Ahui. But did Bai Ningbing ever ask for my opinion? Did she even know who her boyfriend was? This is your boyfriend. Then who is the man named Ahui in the ward to you? Bai Ningbing had been by Lin Jiahui's side day and night, so the doctor naturally assumed Lin Jiahui was Bai Ningbing's husband. As for me, hearing those words, my entire body went cold. Bai Ningbing completely ignored my pale face, dragging me by the hand into the ward. What are you just standing there for? Let's go. Go get the kidney transplant. I let out a mocking laugh and forcefully shook off Bai Ningbing's hand. Only then did Bai Ningbing belatedly turn her head to look at me. Yan, What's wrong? Bai Ningbing felt that my cold and unfamiliar expression stirred up an indescribable panic in her heart. But Lin Jiahui was in the emergency room, and the current situation was incredibly urgent. Bai Ningbing could only patiently explain it to me.
Yan, don't worry.
It's just donating one kidney. It won't be a problem. I trust you. That's why I'm letting you donate. Don't worry. After we get married, I'll take really good care of you. You trust me, so you're letting me donate. So Bai Ningbing hadn't considered my life at all. I looked at her. If looking at a stranger I had never met before. The green light of the operating room turned red, and the doctor inside rushed out. Bai Ningbing stopped paying attention to me and charged straight into the operating room. She was terrified by the sudden turn for the worse in the surgery, her face covered in tears. Babbling incoherently by Lin Jiahui's side. No matter how hard the doctors pulled, she refused to leave. Because of this, Bai Ningbing didn't notice that the man she treated as a walking kidney donor had already left. Back on Lin Miao Miao's end, the engagement party had ended long ago. I drove her back to my place. In front of Lin Miao Miao, I threw away all the couple photos of us, along with many of our shared belongings. In one evening, I cleared out a massive amount of stuff. Lin Miao Miao pulled me back, saying regretfully, "These are your memories after all. You don't have to throw everything away. You can just put them in the storage room. Consider it keeping a memento. Since I've decided to marry you, I don't mind your past." Lin Miao Miao spoke very frankly, but I still threw everything away. After cleaning everything up, I handed all the property information over to my assistant, telling him to find time to sell it. I looked around at everything familiar, still feeling a bit of reluctance in my heart. This Riverview penthouse was the result of me working tirelessly day and night for 5 years after graduation to save up for, just to buy this house, because Bai Ningbing once said she liked looking at the Riverview and wanted to live in a big house. Just because of that one sentence, I worked myself to the bone. I thought that as long as we had a home together, Bai Ningbing would come home every day and love me, and then she wouldn't be able to leave me, eventually relying on me. But up until now, my thoughts could never become reality. I called the movers, and when the company had loaded all the furniture onto the truck, I went back into the house to grab the last box of luggage. Just as Bai Ningbing returned, "You're going on a business trip."
Why are you making such a big fuss?
I froze, not directly denying Bai Ningbing's words. "About the kidney donation I mentioned today. Have you thought about it? It won't be too late to go on your trip after you donate. Let's do it in a few days." Since I didn't contradict her, Bai Ningbing thought I had agreed. She happily went into the kitchen. Ever since we graduated from college, I had never let Bai Ningbing cook. I always cooked for her myself. Only occasionally when she felt guilty or was in a particularly good mood would she take the initiative to cook, like right now, to thank me for agreeing to the kidney transplant. She hummed a tune as she walked into the kitchen. After we finished eating, Bai Ningbing suddenly hugged me from behind. My heart skipped a beat. It had been a long time since she was this proactive. Every time we were intimate, I always had to carefully ask for permission before she would agree, and even then, I had to buy her bags and gifts afterward, just to humbly exchange them for a little warmth. But now my cold voice interrupted her wandering hands. "Do you need something?" "Ah, Yan, I know this kidney donation thing is really hard on you, but I swear, no matter what happens to your health,
I will never leave you.
I'll take care of you for the rest of my life." She pushed me down onto the sofa. But to her surprise, I just frowned, without a single trace of desire in my eyes. "Put your clothes on? I have things to do later." Bai Ningbing looked at my red ears and chuckled. So he's not rejecting me. He's just busy with work, tier E sub, and feeling shy. Tier E sub. I've already quit my job. I plan to stay by his side for the time being, Bai Ningbing said, while observing my reaction. In the past, whenever she mentioned Lin Jiahui, my face would darken, and I'd even get angry and argue with her. But now my face was completely calm.
Why is that?
She couldn't shake the feeling that I was different from before, Risub, but she couldn't quite put her finger on why. I listened to her quietly, without a single ripple of emotion in my heart.
Yeah, it's your job, you decide.
I let out a sigh and stood up, ready to leave. For some reason, she felt like something was slowly slipping away, but she couldn't articulate what it was. So she instinctively stood up and threw her arms around me. "Don't go. You know, Ah Hui is my childhood friend. First, his parents died in an accident, and then his health started failing. As his friend, I'm really worried. I don't have much time to waste, but Ah Hui might not hold on much longer. Let me stay by his side for a while, and I'll make it up to you." Okay. I stayed silent for a moment, then nodded, gently prying Bai Ningbing's hands off my waist, and walked straight out the door. I knew this might be the last time I'd ever be in this house. There was no future left between us. I had nothing to be ashamed of when it came to Bai Ningbing. I had a clear conscience regarding Bai Ningbing. As for how she wanted to live her life, that was no longer any of my business. Outside, a heavy snow suddenly began to fall, blanketing the sky. Bai Ningbing watched me walk out, feeling a strange sense of déjà vu. It seemed like many years ago, on a snowy day just like this. I had confessed my feelings to her, but now the white snow only framed my retreating back. Ah, Yan, wait a minute. Let me get you an umbrella, Bai Ningbing said, running straight upstairs, rummaging through the closets to find an umbrella. But since I was usually the one who cleaned the house, she had no idea where the umbrellas were kept. By the time she finally managed to find one and ran out the door, she realized I had long since disappeared into the white snow. In that moment, she felt an overwhelming emptiness in her heart. Actually, there was something she wanted to ask. She wanted to ask when I would be back, so she could cook a delicious meal for me. Oh well, they still had plenty of time. Once I came back from my business trip, she would make up for everything in this relationship. Meanwhile, in the dark of the night, I finally started my car. I watched Bai Ningbing open the door and look outside, but ultimately, she didn't take a single step to come find me. Even if she just pretended to look for me for a second, it would have been something. Deep down, I still had some expectations. I hoped that this 7-year relationship wasn't just entirely one-sided, wasn't just an empty dream. But in the end, Bai Ningbing still disappointed me. I looked at the house I had lived in for 5 years, recalling everything that had happened between us. Right here, there was bitterness. There was beauty, but mostly there were just ordinary everyday moments. All these feelings of sorrow. The moment I saw Bai Ningbing completely shut the door, transformed into a sense of peace and release. I had let go, completely let go. After moving all my things and signing the contract to sell the house, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. I was still handling some work on my phone when a sudden fragrance wafted over me. Welcome CEO Shu to City A for your inspection.
Welcome, welcome.
Emerging from behind the bouquet of flowers was Lin Miao Miao winking and smiling playfully at me. Unlike her naive childhood self, although Lin Miao Miao's mannerisms were lively, her style of dress exuded the elegance of a refined young lady. A look of surprise flashed in my eyes. Logically speaking, we were about to become husband and wife, but I still blushed and subconsciously looked away.
What's wrong? Are you just now realizing I'm a beauty?
Isn't it a bit late for that? Once we're married,
Well, be sleeping in the same bed.
if you're getting shy now, isn't it a bit too early? I suggest you face reality and get used to me soon.
You.
This mischievous personality of yours hasn't changed a bit. Is it bad to be like before? Everything in society is changing nowadays.
Jobs change.
Businesses change. Everything changes so fast. But I hope the feelings between us can remain forever unchanged, just like before. Lin Miao Miao looked at me seriously, if trying to tell me that, when it came to this relationship and this marriage, she was completely serious. This moment brought me back to when we were 18. Back then, we were both busy preparing for the college entrance exams. Lin Miao Miao didn't wear any makeup at all, but with her lively personality and natural beauty, she was the undisputed beauty queen of our school. But whenever any boy confessed to her, she would reject them. Come on, students should focus on their studies. At the time, I had just finished writing a love letter to her, but upon hearing those words, I immediately hid the letter in my book. I was hesitant and afraid, even though Lin Miao Miao and I were childhood friends. What if she didn't like me back? I thought it'd wait until after the exams to tell her how I felt. But then Lin Miao Miao emigrated, and I went to college in another city. We just missed each other like that. There were naive regrets, and there was remorse. But that was all in the past. I asked casually, have you really not dated anyone all these years? Was it because your family pressured you that you agreed to this ridiculous proposal of mine? She froze for a second. Did you know that on the day I moved, I waited for you at your gate for a very long time? Now it was my turn to be stunned. I knew that after Lin Miao Miao moved away, I was so depressed that I threw myself straight into a part-time job. I thought since she was already gone, I would use work to numb my feelings. So she had been waiting for me. Lin Miao Miao looked at my stunned expression and let out a sigh. I thought I made it obvious enough. I didn't expect you to still not understand my heart. That day I waited for you. I was also waiting for a letter. That arrived too late. Her words made me even more confused. Could it be that she knew I had written her a love letter and was waiting for it? If she was waiting, then did she secretly love me back then too? In that moment, I felt like fireworks were exploding in my mind. Then I felt the temperature in the car rise a bit.
You like me.
Yes, I like you.
Lin Miao Miao didn't hesitate for a single second,
Answering me immediately.
Her certainty, her resolve, and her tear-filled eyes made me realize that her love had been quietly hidden away for a very long time. I've liked you for much longer than you liked Bai Ningbing, but all these years you never saw me. So I've always been waiting for you to turn around, and notice me. She pulled a yellow love letter out of her bag, bearing my immature handwriting. Xu Yan, your love letter from 10 years ago, and our promise from 10 years ago. Do they still count? I felt like this was all a dream. I was afraid that when I woke up, nothing would be left. I looked at her. My heart, a tangled mess of emotions. It turned out that while I was waiting for someone else was quietly waiting for me. I couldn't hold back anymore and pulled Lin Miao Miao into a tight embrace. Our warmth met the fluttering in our hearts intertwined, melting into a long, deep kiss. Of course they still count. Meow meow. Thank you for taking 99 steps toward me. Let me take this final step. Returning to the city meant returning to where we used to live. As kids. The Shu family had moved away, and the Lin family only had an old house left. So Lin Miao and I decided to temporarily stay at the Lin family's old house first. The atmosphere suddenly grew a bit ambiguous. We busied ourselves cleaning the rooms, not daring to look at each other, but you could clearly see Lin Miao's ears, gradually turning red. We chatted for a long time in perfect harmony, until midnight. Lin Miao shyly went back to her room. Even though we've known each other for a long time, we still have to go through the marriage procedures. In 2 days, I'll bring gifts to visit your parents, and we'll discuss registering our marriage in a week. Lin Miao just wanted to marry me right away, wishing we could sleep in the same room right this instant. Besides, her parents had been worrying their hair gray over her marriage. As soon as they heard she was marrying me, they were overjoyed. Not only did they immediately go pick out a car for her dowry without a second thought, but they also waived the bride price, openly showing blatant favoritism toward their future son-in-law. But a girl still has to maintain some modesty. She could only blush and nod shyly. Meanwhile, in another city, Bai Ningbing had originally planned to ask me when I was coming to donate my kidney, but the doctor told her something even more urgent. Bai, the VIP room fees have been overdue for a week. When do you plan to pay? The VIP room costs 30,000 yuan a day. Bai Ningbing's cards had long been maxed out, to the point where even her credit cards were over their limits.
Bye, Mr.
Lin's medical bills are already over 200,000. They must be paid in full today. Otherwise, we'll have no choice but to move Mr. Lin to a regular ward. Lin Jiahui had just finished surgery. He absolutely couldn't be moved to a regular ward. No. I have to ask him directly what he means by this. She wanted to call me right away to ask why I had stopped paying. But remembering that she still had to beg me later, she thought for a moment and decided to go home to talk in person. Bai Ningbing went to the supermarket to buy groceries, and even bought a lot of ingredients for my favorite dishes. When she pushed the front door open, that familiar voice wasn't there to take the groceries from her hands. At 10 p.m., the room was pitch black. Entering the house, Bai Ningbing could only hear her own breathing. After turning on the lights, she saw a house that had been cleaned spotless, large but empty. Bai Ningbing felt like the house was missing something. Her brimming enthusiasm was chilled by the silent house. Only then did she remember what I had said. I had gone on a business trip. Disappointed, she set the groceries down. She took out her phone, opened our most recent WeChat, and realized I hadn't sent her a message in a long time. The conversation had stopped weeks ago. Although her pride made her feel a bit uncomfortable, Bai Ningbing still took the initiative to text me. Are you asleep? When are you coming back? After sending the message, she unconsciously stared at her phone screen, anxiously waiting for it to light up. But an hour passed, and the phone just lay there silently. He must be too tired from work, and fell asleep. Bai Ningbing comforted herself. She decided to go take a shower,
Wait for me to reply tomorrow.
and then talk more thoroughly about the hospital situation, and about their future marriage too. Exhausted, Bai Ningbing walked into the bedroom. The moment she pushed the door open, she froze completely in her tracks. The once cozy room was now bare. The bed was gone. The nightstands were gone. The warm photos on the wall had all disappeared. She ran out to the living room and grabbed her phone to call me. But the other end only had a cold, automated voice. Sorry, the number you have dialed does not exist. Please check the number and try again. Does not exist? How could it not exist? Then is there only one possibility? Refusing to believe it, Bai Ningbing immediately sent me a WeChat message. But the very next second, a giant red exclamation mark appeared before her eyes. Her hands trembled. I had actually blocked her. A thought flashed through her mind. Did I really want to break up with her? Recalling the recent details, she desperately searched for clues. But as her gaze swept across the room, she noticed that on the living room coffee table, a piece of paper was placed neatly. Glancing at it, she froze on the spot. Bai Ningbing, let's break up. I've already married someone else. Holding the paper, her hands began to shake. I really wanted to break up with her. By the time she confirmed this reality, she belatedly touched her face, only to find cold tears on her fingers. She had started crying at some point, without even realizing it herself. She stared at that red exclamation mark, and unwilling to give up, called me again. The cold, automated voice echoed from the other end once more. Bai Ningbing screamed in agony. Xu Yan, what gives you the right to just leave without a word?
I won't allow it.
Her eyes were red. Yes. She mechanically dialed the number over and over again. The pain of being dumped turned into a nameless rage, instantly igniting her aggrieved heart. She didn't understand why. She didn't understand why. Lately, she had just been a little more attentive to Lin Jiahui, but he was a patient. Besides, she was just taking care of a sick person. Did he really have to be so petty about it? But right now, she had to get in touch with me. She had no money to pay the hospital bills, and she still needed to beg me for help. After thinking for a moment, she posted a status on her social media, asking our friends about my whereabouts. But another hour passed, and no one replied. She suddenly felt incredibly depressed and utterly helpless. Bai Ningbing sighed, lying alone on the floor, and closed her eyes. She hoped that when she opened them tomorrow morning, I would reach out to her again. The next day, when she woke up, she had received a ton of WeChat messages on her phone. Overjoyed, she unlocked her phone, but scrolled and scrolled without seeing the person she was hoping for. She felt a pang of disappointment. Bored, she checked the messages, and was suddenly drawn to a post on her feed. It was from a college classmate, a photo taken at a wedding. Zooming in, her entire body froze. Suddenly, she received a call. Ningbing, Xu Yan is getting married today.
Why aren't you here?
I thought you were the bride?
I even prepared a special gift for you. Turns out I got the wrong person today and made a fool of myself. Xu Yan was so good to you. Are you really just going to watch him marry someone else? The barrage of questions from Lingling left Bai Ningbing frozen in place. She didn't believe it. I must be playing my old tricks again, throwing a tantrum.
Just waiting for her to come crawling back to me.
Thinking this, she was suddenly filled with energy again. She immediately perked up. Send me the location. It'll be right there. It's in City A, Xu Yan's hometown. Didn't you know? Bai Ningbing's heart sank again. City A. If she remembered correctly, that was my hometown. I had once, for her sake, not returned home for years, and even had conflicts with my parents. Meanwhile, the wedding hall was filled with a joyous atmosphere. The newlyweds were busy greeting everyone, radiating the shy sweetness of a newly married couple. Suddenly, I received a call from an unknown number. I thought it was the MC, or the staff reminding me it was time for the ceremony. Without thinking, I answered it right in front of Lin Miao Miao. But a second later, Bai Ningbing's voice suddenly rang out from the phone. Ah, Yan, you finally answered. When are you coming home? I miss you so much. Ah, Yan, please stop blocking me. I know I was wrong before, and you're doing all this on purpose to make me mad. I know I messed up. Just tell me where you are, and I'll come find you right now. I really know I was wrong. Can you just come back? Her voice was as gentle as water, sounding like a genuine apology. But very quickly, another girl's voice came through the line.
Hubby.
Who are you talking to?
Everyone is waiting for you to take the group photo. We're just missing you. That intimate hubby was like a slap, striking Bai Ningbing hard across the face. It's just a spam call. It's nothing. It'll be right there. Bai Ningbing could tell that my gentleness and patience were not fake. She felt as if she had been struck by lightning. Sitting in the empty house, she kept thinking about everything that had happened recently, from the call from wifey and my contacts, to my cold attitude afterward. It turned out the signs were all there. It turned out I really had fallen for someone else. Almost as a conditioned reflex, she haphazardly packed a few clothes and ran out. After frantically interrogating her friends, she finally managed to get my home address from a classmate. Without a second thought, she bought the earliest flight there. Right at that moment, she received a message from the doctor saying that Lin Jiahui needed surgery again. If it were before, she definitely wouldn't have hesitated to rush to the hospital. But for some reason, the scales in her heart suddenly tipped. Her mind was entirely consumed by me. She just wanted to see me right this instant. In City A, the wedding was proceeding to the ceremony. Lin Miao Miao giggled and leaned into my arms. Lin Miao Miao giggled and leaned into my arms. We looked at each other and smiled, and beneath the falling petals, 1,000 words melted into a deep kiss. Just then, a commotion erupted outside the closed main doors. A bad premonition quietly rose in my heart. I smiled and told Lin Miao Miao to keep greeting the relatives while I walked toward the entrance. The security guard at the door looked troubled. Mr.
XU.
The woman outside claims to be your wife. She even showed us photos of you two together. So we really didn't feel comfortable stopping her. If she's really someone you know, we're afraid of offending your family. She's just an ex-girlfriend. We've already broken up. I'm getting married today, and you dare let that crazy woman make a scene out there? Do you want to lose your jobs? Hearing me say that, they nodded profusely and went outside, dragging Bai Ningbing straight out the door, her face covered in tears. Hearing the guards say that I was the one who told her to leave, she found it completely unbelievable. He proposed to me just a few weeks ago. How could he just casually marry another woman now? I believe him. Let Xu Yan come out and see me. Tell him to come out. Bai Ningbing sobbed uncontrollably. Suddenly her eyes rolled back and she fainted. The guards panicked and hurriedly called an ambulance. Meanwhile, inside, I got down on one knee and slipped the diamond ring onto Lin Miao Miao's finger. Ah, Yan, now that you've married me, don't even think about escaping for the rest of your life. Looking into her gentle, watery eyes, I truly yearned for this. I had never felt so happy. When Bai Ningbing finally opened her eyes, the first thing she did was ask the doctor, "Doctor, did my boyfriend come to see me?"
What boyfriend? No one has come to visit you these past few days.
Remember to pay your medical bills yourself. You're a grown adult. Yet you're still acting like life and death depend on love. The doctor finished speaking and quickly walked out. Footsteps echoed outside the door, and she quickly looked up.
Ah, Yan, you finally came.
But she was met with Lin Jiaho's pale face instead. With red eyes, Lin Jiahui grabbed her hand. Ningbing, for a man like that, to torture yourself like this, it's really not worth it. You just woke up and you're already thinking about him. But what about him? What is he doing? He's already out having fun with his beautiful new bride. Tyre Sub saying that Lin Jiahui took out his phone, opened his social media, and shoved a photo in her face. It was the last thing she wanted to see. In the photo, the newlyweds were smiling happily and sweetly, standing close together, looking even more intimate than she and I ever were. How could this be? How could this happen? A 7-year relationship. How could he just let go like that and marry another woman? Bai Ningbing shook her head frantically. No, Rasub. She didn't believe it. She wanted to find me and ask me herself. But as soon as she stood up, a wave of dizziness hit her. Her phone showed another missed call. She hurriedly picked up her phone and opened it with full anticipation, only to find it flooded with credit card overdue notices and various other unpaid bills, totaling nearly 1.2 million yuan. There was also an eviction notice from property management, informing her that the house she was living in had been bought by someone else, and demanding that she quickly pack her things and move out within a week. The last message was from her company, saying that since she hadn't shown up for work in weeks, she was fired effective immediately. Her previous wages wouldn't be paid out either. Waking up from a single sleep, Bai Ningbing had become a homeless, penniless debtor. She scrolled through her phone, in complete disbelief. Lin Jiahui didn't know what had happened, and just stayed by her side, comforting her. No matter how busy he is with work, he shouldn't act like this. What kind of boyfriend is he? I think you two should just break up. And even if you do break up, you have to demand some money from him. And my medical bills too. He has to pay you back for the VIP room. Otherwise, we'll go to his company and make a scene, and humiliate him. Lin Jiahui kept talking to himself, completely oblivious to the fact that Bai Ningbing's TRB sub face had turned as dark as ink. Her heart was burning with rage. Get out. This is all your fault. If you hadn't kept forcing me to stay by your side, how could Xu Yan have ended up with another woman?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean Xu Yan is with someone else?
Did he dump you? Tell me. Explain it clearly. His words were like needles, piercing right through her heart. The thing she wanted to be reminded of the least was casually blurted out by him. Devastated, she collapsed onto the hospital bed. Xu Yan doesn't want me anymore. He's already with another woman. Are you happy now? Hearing the truth about my marriage from her, Lin Jiahui was practically stunned on the spot. Then go find him. Go chase after him. He loves you so much. Just tell him to divorce that woman.
And be with you?
It's not impossible. Hate, do anything for you? Hearing him say this, the pent-up grievance in her heart became unbearable, and she burst into tears. Get out. Leave me alone so I can calm down. After he left, she realized her face was completely drenched in tears, but life had to go on. So she called her family. Over the years, she had helped her family out quite a bit, and even used my resources to help her younger brother. She figured asking her parents to borrow some money to tide her over this current crisis
wouldn't be a problem.
But right on the phone, the moment she finished explaining her situation, her parents on the other end started screaming at her at the top of their lungs. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. We just let you do whatever you want.
What did we tell you before?
When you meet a good man like Xu Yan, you should just marry him. But no. You had to keep looking for something better. Now look what happened. The man you had in your grasp ran off with someone else.
What money? We were counting on you to pay the down payment for your brother's house.
That was supposed to be your responsibility. And now you're turning around and asking us for money. We don't have any money for you. You better figure out a way to win Xu Yan back. And if you can't, don't bother coming home. With that, they hung up. She truly never expected her parents to be so heartless toward her. Unexpectedly, a week later, the same heartless couple from the phone call came to find her in person, and even arranged a place for her to stay. That Xu Yan really went too far. He was with you for 7 years, and just broke up with you just like that. But it's okay, Ningning. There are plenty of good men in the world. While she was still in a daze, Lin Jiahui walked through the door, holding a bouquet of flowers. Ningbing, marry me. I don't mind your past, the shabby bouquet, the half-hearted setup. It wasn't even a tenth as thoughtful as I used to be. She sneered inwardly. No, I won't marry you. You lived with another man for 7 years. You're lucky any man is willing to marry you at all. What are you playing hard to get for? Besides, Jiahui said, hell, give us a bride price, which we can use for your brother's down payment. What more could you ask for? So in her parents' eyes, she was nothing more than a tool to be exchanged for a bride price. No matter how much her parents tried to persuade her, Bai Ningbing adamantly refused. By the time Lin Miao and I returned, it was already early spring. I was immersed in sweetness. Our relationship had grown much more intimate than before, and we were practically inseparable. Lin Miao didn't want to leave my side for even a second. I just didn't expect that such a peaceful and happy life would be disrupted by a small incident. One day after Lin Miao Miao and I finished grocery shopping, we were stopped by someone at the checkout exit. Looking closely, it was Bei Ningbing. She was now emaciated and haggard, her cheeks sunken, her complexion sallow. She had completely lost the pampered look she used to have. I instinctively shielded Lin Miao Miao behind me, afraid of what she might do. This sudden action deeply hurt Bei Ningbing. She could also see that there wasn't a single trace of nostalgia in my eyes. She took a step back and said with a self-deprecating smile, "Don't worry, I'm not here to fight with you." She handed over an invitation. "I'm getting married next week. Here's the invitation. For old time's sake, CEO Shu, you must come." I instinctively went to reject it, but Lin Miao Miao snatched it away. "All right, my husband and I will be there."
Lin Miao Miao's authoritative tone as the lady of the house
made Bei Ningbing almost lose her footing, her face pale. She turned and stumbled away. Only after she turned her back did I realize that not only was she living miserably, but she also appeared to be pregnant. When we arrived at the wedding venue, the first thing that surprised me was that the Maybach I was driving looked completely out of place in front of such an ordinary restaurant. Bei Ningbing had indeed married Lin Jiahui, but she was forced into it. Her parents and Lin Jiahui had made a deal. For 200,000 yuan, they locked her in the house until Lin Jiahui got her pregnant. She had struggled and resisted, but as the baby grew day by day, she could only slowly accept reality. I held Lin Miao Miao's hand, and we casually walked in. The wedding decorations were incredibly simple, almost to the point of being bare bones. Bei Ningbing wore an ill-fitting wedding dress, and on her finger was a fake diamond ring, worth a few dozen bucks. Her wedding shoes didn't fit either, making her limp slightly as she walked. She had never suffered such humiliation before, and could only force out a stiff smile. Meanwhile, Lin Miao Miao and I were chatting amongst ourselves, completely immersed in our own little world. Anyone with eyes could see how good our relationship was. Bei Ningbing obviously noticed too, and could only suppress the jealousy in her heart. Pulled along by Lin Jiahui, she stepped onto the stage. The wedding proceeded to the ring exchange. "Ningbing, be my wife. From now on, you'll only have me in your heart." She looked at him kneeling on one knee, but hesitated to offer her hand.
What's wrong? Are you still waiting for Shu Yan to crash the wedding and steal you away?
Hearing his threatening words, she shivered, and trembling, she put on the diamond ring, tears falling from her eyes. If she could, she truly hoped I would regret it and take her away. But when she looked down, I was carefully placing my hand on Lin Miao Miao's belly, saying something to her with a joyful expression, completely ignoring the stage. In the end, I hurriedly escorted Lin Miao Miao away. Bei Ningbing's gaze followed me until my back disappeared from sight. She realized her vision was blurring, her eyes brimming with tears. Everyone thought she was moved to tears, but only she knew that the tears she shed were tears of regret. Right around the time Lin Miao Miao was due to give birth, I happened to hear from an old classmate that Bei Ningbing had gotten a divorce, even though I no longer cared. The wedding hadn't been that long ago, so I was still a bit surprised. It turned out that ever since the wedding, she had barely eaten or drank anything, and had lost a lot of weight. This terrified the Lin family. They begged her to eat, and Lin Jiahui even got down on his knees to plead with her, but she adamantly refused. Seeing that the baby was about to be lost, she finally stated her demand. She wanted a divorce from Lin Jiahui. As long as they divorced, she would give birth to the child. Lin Jiahui lost almost all his face, but seeing her belly growing day by day, he ultimately agreed to the divorce. After all, to them, a child was much more important than a wife. Who would have thought that on the very day she received the divorce papers, she took 3 abortion pills of unknown origin and immediately started bleeding. By the time she was rushed to the hospital, the baby couldn't be saved, and she herself nearly lost half her life, barely surviving the ordeal. I just gave a non-committal, and turned back to the delivery waiting room. The woman I had once loved more than my own life no longer caused even a single ripple in my heart. My heart now only held Lin Miao Miao and my soon-to-be-born child, but I never expected Bei Ningbing to show up at the hospital. When she hobbled over on crutches, limping her way to find me, I opened my mouth, almost speechless. But she spoke first. "Ah, Yan, I want to talk to you alone." No one knew how much effort it took for her to get to the hospital. Her back was drenched in sweat, and she had to grit her teeth through the physical pain. But when she saw me, she felt it was all worth it. Bei Ningbing's eyes instantly filled with tears of grievance. She couldn't hold it back anymore. "Ah, Yan, I won't have Lin Jiahui's child. Can we just go back to how we used to be?" As soon as the words left her mouth, I looked at her like she was a freak. "Miss Bai, my wife is currently in the delivery room waiting to give birth. And here you are, standing outside the maternity ward saying things like this. Trying to ruin someone else's marriage is despicable. Aren't you afraid of karma, of getting struck by lightning?" Bei Ningbing's face turned pale.
What did you just call me?
"You're scolding me for someone else? Bei Ningbing, who do you think you are to me? Please, know your place. If you dare to interfere with my life."
Watch your back.
I won't hold back. I lowered my voice, and the threat in my words was very real. Tears froze on Bai Ningbing's face, leaving her completely stunned. She had never seen me so harsh and unforgiving. I don't have time for your nonsense. If you don't leave, I'm calling security. A doctor's surprised exclamation echoed from the maternity ward. Hearing it, I immediately rushed over, leaving Bai Ningbing with nothing but the sight of my hurried back. In that moment, Bai Ningbing knew she had lost completely. She stood there in a daze for a long time, until the cry of a newborn baby rang out from the delivery room. Trash sub later, I hovered around Lin Miao Miao on her gurney and handed her a bouquet of flowers. I gently kissed Lin Miao Miao's cheek, the love in my eyes practically overflowing. Honey, you did so well. Miao Miao. I love you. The sight of our happiness pierced Bai Ningbing's heart. Bai Ningbing could only hide in the shadows, like a rat in the gutter, secretly peeking at someone else's happiness. As she walked out to the sidewalk, the scene suddenly felt incredibly familiar. A long time ago, when I first met her, we used to stroll along the sidewalk just like this. Back then, I would carry all her bags and caringly ask if she was hungry or if she was cold. She was happy back then too, wasn't she? But why didn't she know how to cherish it? Why was she so arrogantly confident that I would never leave her?